Blizzard managed to collect lightning in a bottle for a second time with the release of Classic WoW. Bringing back the old version of WoW for new and old players alike to experience the beginning was a fantastic idea and a huge success for the game. However, as time went on, they've been burning through Classic expansions at an alarming rate, and they're near the end of the Classic era of WoW. Classic Wrath of the Lich King has proven that there's still a huge demand for Classic WoW, and I think it's gotten the largest number of people playing it since the actual start of Classic WoW. But I think the reason behind that is twofold. First, Wrath was considered nearly by everyone to be peak WoW, and it makes sense that a lot of people want to go back and experience that peak again. The second is Wrath being a sort of pseudo dragonflight waiting room. All the retail players are just killing time until the next expansion comes out. Nearly my entire guild has stopped raiding in retail, and they're all just playing Classic Wrath until we wait for Dragonflight to come out. So what's next for the Classic saga of World of Warcraft? At the moment, Blizzard has a huge time-sensitive issue that needs to be addressed, fast, or else risk losing the Classic community. What is that issue? Well, as I stated earlier, Wrath was peak WoW, and with the largest player count the game's ever had at well over 11 million active subscribers. Cataclysm was when the game took a turn in the wrong direction. There are a number of reasons why people blame Cataclysm, and I'm sure if you ask many WoW veterans, every one of them will have a different answer. But everyone can agree that Cataclysm was when the game started its decline. Now, I've had my ear to the ground, so to speak, ever since Classic WoW launched, and since then, everyone's been throwing out suggestions as to where Blizzard can take the Classic game. Ian said in an interview that they want to know where the players want the game to go, and it seems like a huge sentiment is that it's not Cataclysm. However, that leaked poll that came out a few weeks ago from Blizzard makes it appear that we're going to be getting Classic Cataclysm. In this poll, they asked a lot of general gaming questions, but then they also focused down in on some specific Cataclysm questions, like what features you liked/didn't like in Cata. What I get from all that is that Blizzard fully intends on doing a Classic Cataclysm, but they want to figure out which features exactly were the ones that players didn't want to, and hope that it'll be enough for players to play and enjoy the new Cataclysm. Either way, I don't think it's going to work, because if they do launch Classic Cataclysm with some features removed, they'll be like, okay, but what's after Classic Cata? Are we going to be getting a Classic Mists of Pandaria? Classic Warlords of Draenor? What about Classic Legion, or better yet, what about Classic Shadowlands? At that rate, they're going to be releasing Classic expansions so fast that they're going to eventually hit retail WoW unless they do something different. Now, there are only two viable options that I think Blizzard realistically can do to keep Classic players happy and keep the retention from them. The first one is the more expensive option, and that is Classic Plus. But I think it would actually 100% retain and almost guarantee a positive growth of the game. The second option is to go back to the drawing board with Season of Mastery and try to come up with a much better system than they did before. As much as I want Classic Plus, I am unfortunately here to bring some bad news, you guys. I don't think it's going to happen. My reasoning for this is I think if Blizzard was going to go out and do this, they would have done it by now. But it seems to me that Blizzard doesn't actually take Classic WoW seriously, and I am by no means saying that to throw shade at the developers. I think they're doing a fantastic job, and doing a lot with what they have. I am talking more about the higher-ups, the ones who make decisions on where to spend their money, or also known as the bean counters. I just don't think that they're willing to spend a ton or invest a lot into Classic. I don't know, to me it just feels like they kind of want to put the least amount of effort into Classic for the most amount of monetary gain. Because let's face it, Classic Plus isn't some fringe movement, it's literally the most requested thing for Classic, but I don't think a lot of people fully understand just what would need to actually happen in order for Classic Plus to be a thing. First off, let's break down just what is Classic Plus. Well, the general consensus for Classic Plus is unique content. New dungeons, new quests, raids, etc. While these things just don't come out of thin air, Blizzard would need developers to work on this new content, which means they would need to either A, pull developers off retail, which also means delaying or slowing down Dragonflight content, which I don't think they want to happen, or B, hire a bunch of new developers to work fully on Classic Plus, and as I stated earlier, it seems to me like Blizzard really doesn't want to spend a lot of money on Classic. Not to mention that they would also need a whole new team of Q&A to test the new content. I mean, sure, they could repurpose old models to use them for new bosses or dungeons and things like that, but I don't think anyone's going to be getting excited if they reuse Ragnaros' model and just tint him blue and call him Waterros, the Water Lord. What I'm getting at is Blizzard would essentially need an entirely new team just to develop Classic Plus and make it a reality, and at the moment I just don't see them doing it. With them throwing out that Cataclysm survey to people to get their feelers out there and see what player perception is really makes me feel like they understand we want Classic Plus, but they really can't make it happen. So the next best thing is to go, okay, well, we know you hated Cataclysm, but what do you hate about it? And maybe if we don't include those features, maybe then you just might like it. So that's why I don't think Classic Plus is going to be happening. However, I don't think it's all bad because granted, I mean, I could be wrong. Blizzard could announce Classic Plus tomorrow. And it's not like it's like a sure thing that it's never going to happen or, them taking it off the table completely. I just don't think that it's very likely. I will say that if Blizzard's hands are tied and the devs can't give us Classic Plus, I believe that rethinking Season of Mastery is probably the future for Classic. So here's my idea on how they could make this work. So new releases or launches with new expansions have always been the most hyped and funnest times to play WoW. It's that moment in time where everyone is on a level playing field and everyone is trying to get to max level. It's kind of like a similar thing in other games like Rust. Rust is a survival FPS where you can build bases and just raid people, and usually they do server wipes pretty much every month or so. And, well, the most popular times for people to play that game on those servers is wipe day, when everyone has a fresh start, a level playing field. I'm not sure what the psychology behind that is, but that same kind of popularity can be said for any kind of seasonal game. So I think if Blizzard can't afford to fully realize Classic Plus, they will need to really lean hard into the Season of Mastery and find some kind of way to create fresh seasonal content that brings players back to fresh servers, where every season players can start over from scratch and be level 1 just like they did before. But like I said, they need to give players a reason to come back and start from the beginning again. I will say that the Season of Mastery really needs to transform the game in unique ways. They need to do more than just increase the health and difficulty of raid bosses. But either way, Blizzard is running out of time with Classic. They really do need to make a decision soon, because if they decide to go with Classic Plus, it's gonna take a while for them to build up a team and start pumping out content for players. But anyways, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you guys think Blizzard's gonna be doing Classic Plus, or do you think they're just gonna keep pumping out expansions with, altered content? Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you guys like the content so far. Thanks so much for watching my videos, and we'll see you guys in the next one.